What is going on YouTube, and welcome back to Vancouver's Worst Drivers. So this is the only video I'm doing in August, so I will be doing the blackboxmycar in-store credit at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. Also stay tuned for a bunch of crazy videos sent in to me this month, starting with this one from Philip. This tow truck driver, I know he's an oversized vehicle, but he just decides to make his own right turn lane from the wrong side of a road. I guess driving on the correct side of the road was just way too much of a hassle for this guy. And then Amy captured this video in Coquitlam, this driver driving the wrong way down the road. I guess they turned a little too sharp on their left turn and end up on the wrong side. But I just love how they give a wave as like, oh, sorry, and then they just completely stop because they know they're screwed at this point. I don't know what's going on with drivers lately, but I've been seeing a lot of photos and videos of stuff like this happening. People are just loving to push the gas pedal when they're trying to park. And, of course this happened in Richmond. This is just like, one of those Richmond things that people do. And then here's another thing Richmond drivers are notorious for doing. Driving the wrong way down the street. Alright, so I knew it's easy giving Richmond a hard time, but let's give Vancouver a hard time as well, especially their pedestrians. Starting with this guy who's jaywalking in the downtown east side, almost gets hit by a car, and he's a little bit pissed off about that situation, to say the least. And then we got this video from Commercial Drive, sent in by Andy, this guy's clearly on the other side of the spectrum of happiness from the last video, although he's probably pissing off a lot of drivers in the process while doing this, just by waving and saying hello in the middle of Commercial Drive. And then Angel captures this young man who decides to think it's a good idea to jaywalk across 6 lanes of traffic, and right in this moment he doesn't even try and look right to see if it's clear. And then lastly, we got this pedestrian downtown who decides to jaywalk, taking their life in their own hands, by all means. This mini comes close, but just kind of pulls in right behind him. This pedestrian is probably livid about this, even though he's jaywalking, giving this guy a piece of his mind to the left, this mini here. But I just don't understand, why does nobody have accountability and realize that they're in the wrong? So Patel Bridge is pretty narrow, and you'd think this guy would be a little bit more attentive driving across it, but clearly not, because he just decides to eat a whole bunch of cones in the process, just because of a slight turn there. Here's a scary moment for Joseph. He's taking a look in his rearview mirror and sees this truck, not even noticing this there, and having to swerve off a road to avoid a rear ender. Joseph, fortunately, has pretty good reflexes. I'm actually pretty impressed he noticed this truck coming, but man, could you imagine how bad his whiplash would have been getting hit by a truck that big? Usually situations like this happen in the winter when it's snowy or icy, but unfortunately for this driver, it happens in the rain. This guy loses control around the corner, smashes into 2 cars. My guess is after his accident, he probably went out and bought new tires. So this incident happened on the August long weekend in Lions Bay, out just outside West Van. I actually got stuck in this because there was traffic for hours because of this guy. Apparently he was driving his truck like this with the cyclist riding on the side of the road, and he hit the cyclist with those wooden beams sticking out of his truck like this. I could not believe something like this happened. It just blows my mind. Fortunately, it looks like the cyclist survived. Obviously, he posted this photo. Don't know exactly who it is, but I cannot believe people like this are driving their vehicles around Vancouver or on the highway. Wow. Yikes. I guess a guy did not have a fire extinguisher in his vehicle, that's for sure. This happened on Boundary Road just off the Highway 1 exit. I have so many questions and so few answers. I just don't know how this happens. The Darwin Award goes to this guy who's riding his motorcycle down the sidewalk, just pinning it, and almost hits this car as it's turning right. I just cannot believe this did not end up in an accident. And then the next Darwin Award recipient is this cyclist who's going to turn left in front of a car by riding the wrong way down the road. This scooter rider is extremely ballsy for pulling this move, not even really waiting for traffic before crossing the street. This scooter rider also wins a Darwin Award and the biggest douchebag award for turning left in front of all this traffic. Just as this car is turning left in front of them, they decide to go for it. You can see them between the cars, and then they hit the front of a vehicle just as they're getting a green light. And the worst part is, they're apparently yelling and swearing at this driver and everybody else around them, even though they're in the wrong for this accident. Then this is quite a close call to say the least, and the worst part is this Mercedes doesn't even try and stop and decides to drive a wrong way down the road to correct this issue. So I guess the government put up these white cones here basically so that people on the right couldn't turn left here, but this silver car is gonna go for it anyways because, you know, why the hell not? This is one of the most confusing and pointless road rage situations I think I've ever seen on this channel. So JD's driving along, this black car comes out and almost hits him. You know, fortunately nobody gets an accident here. This same vehicle is just pissed at JD for who knows why. He's swerving at him. You'll see it in a second here. He's going to start throwing his hand out through his window. Almost tries to hit him again with his car. And I've said this once, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll say it again. I just don't understand why people just don't take accountability for their actions and just acknowledge that they're in the wrong. I don't know why. I don't know why people don't just do it. I apologize about the quality of this video, but take a look at this intersection near Metrotown. This black SUV almost got rocked going through this red light. I think somebody's got to explain to this guy that when you're turning left, you actually need to use the left turn lane. This is a classic pulling over without signaling and doing a U-turn without signaling as someone's driving up behind you. The silver car up ahead is also going to pull away from a curb without signaling, and this red car is going to let him know that what he did was wrong. Take a listen to the audio. This guy, on the other hand, is using his turn signals, thank goodness, but, you know, he's just driving in a way that's not really that safe. You can't really do moves like that. This green car up ahead clearly does not believe in yielding to other drivers, signals to go into this lane, decides to go for it, then for whatever reason stops and hits Cheyenne. Fortunately for Cheyenne, ICBC sided with them because it's very obvious this guy just thinks he can go the moment he signals. Up next, we got a bunch of close call clips starting with this SUV who clearly thinks that parking lots are free-for-alls. Then Jared encounters this guy who believes it's a good idea to drive into the middle of a lane to check if the lane is clear. Yeah, definitely not the smartest move out there. And then we got this honorable mention for the Darwin Award, this motorcyclist running his red light. This is a classic Vancouver move, someone that cannot stay in the lines worth their life on a simple left turn. And then up next we got Paul, who again finds a guy who doesn't understand how parking lots work. This silver SUV puts the Sashi in such an awkward situation here. He's not going to go straight, but instead flags him through, even though that's forcing the Sashi in such a bad spot because he can't see right worth his life. And then he also captured this video with his Evo taking one of the worst U-turns I think I have ever seen in the middle of a four-way intersection. Eric captures this insane video that looks like Main Street SkyTrain station. Unfortunately, this for this young lady, she doesn't look both ways and just gets hit by this white car. Fortunately, she looks okay here, but this is just another reason, ladies and gentlemen, if you're gonna jaywalk, you gotta look both ways. This could have ended so badly for her. This guy is just screaming to get pulled over by the police. Because you know what? If I was a betting man, I would bet you that guy did not buy that shopping cart from a store. Up next, we got a bunch of drivers who are too impatient for their own turn lanes, such as this guy who just decides to skip the line and make his own left turn lane from the middle. And then Mitch captures a similar situation happening at Canada Way. This time, this guy's going right. And I've got to say, at this intersection, I'm sure this happens all the time. And again, the same thing happening at this intersection as well, even with a nice no right turn sign right there. I'm just kind of confused in this situation why this driver possibly thought this was a one-way street. This is one of those awkward moments when you get caught red-handed trying to run a red light and then you realize, oh crap, don't want to get hit by a truck in the process. And then Yasha captures a similar situation here with this white car, and at this point this car should have just gone through. I'm telling you, if I was Philip in this situation, I would just be screaming inside if I missed this light because of this guy deciding to change lanes over a solid white line, if I may add. Alright guys, it's another month and another $50 giveaway from blackboxmycar for $50 in-store credit to their store for any dash cam or accessories. So a big thank you to them for sponsoring this contest. And the winner of this month is Katcorot. So congratulations, Katcorot, for winning $50 to blackboxmycar. And if you guys are interested in winning, all you got to do is email me your videos. That's it, and then you're entered. So we give away $50 every month, so be sure to enter for your chance to win as well. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching my videos. If you like it, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And also, if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram at Vancouver's Worst Drivers YouTube. The link is in the description below. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your summer and stay safe out there.